Well, next up, a story about a Middle Tennessee guy who likes beer. Nothing unusual about that, of course, except this guy sometimes likes the containers the beer comes in just as much as the brew. Gretchen Bates takes us to the home of this Brentwood accountant whose obsession can be considered outrageous.
Pratt takes the snap, drops back. DeMarco's open. Oh, but he can't hang on.
Ben, I can't believe he dropped that ball.
I know it.
I'm thirsty. Mind if I grab a beer?
No, please do. Grab one for myself, too. They're in the garage.
Okay, great. What kind do you want?
Said I was collecting beer cans my entire life. Started when I was about 6 years old.
Meet Scott Mertie, accountant, author, beer can collector. Did it bother you that he started at 6?
No, not really. No, I knew he wasn't drinking them. He started bringing the beer cans home, and then I helped him, and I took him to some beer can shows when he was little, and then when I was traveling, I'd bring him back beer cans all the time.
Before I knew it, I have over 3,000 cans now. I started out stacking them in pyramids in my bedroom, and then we ran out of space and we moved to the rec room and built shelves, and now I keep them all in my garage.
And what does your wife think about your garage?
She's fine with them in the garage. She don't like them inside, though.
Scott, tell us about these cans.
Well, these cans show a little bit of history of the beer can, which started in 1935. Initially, they were flat top cans, as the pull tab was not invented. This Budweiser can actually has instructions on the side telling users how to open the can from the top. They were given a church key with every six-pack, which was a can opener, to open the top. And this is a series of Rolling Rock cans from a flat top to a cone top, which can companies initially tried to sell these to breweries because they didn't have to replace their bottling line. So the cans would go straight through on the same bottling line that bottles would. But the users did not like these because they would not stack in ice boxes.
Although Scott was an avid collector before coming to Nashville, a visit to a Music City restaurant took his hobby to another level.
I moved to Nashville in 1992, straight out of college. And at that time, I was always looking for good German food and beer. And someone told me about the Gerst House, which was in its second location. So I went there for dinner and saw the Oompa band. And that's actually when I first found out that there was a brewery in Nashville. And that's really what started my collection. I've got beer cans from the 1940s. I've got embossed beer bottles from the late 1800s and early 1900s. Crocks, a lot of the crocks apparently are being found in the Cumberland River. They were used as bobbers back by fishermen in the early 1900s. The brewery started in 1890 by Christian Moerlein and William Gerst, both from Cincinnati. By 1893, William Gerst bought out Christian Moerlein's interest and operated the brewery solely. Once Prohibition came about in the 1920s and early 30s, the beer production actually stopped. They did non-alcoholic beers and soda. They actually did Orange Crush and some other colas as well. Then in 1933, after Prohibition, they started brewing beer again and was the only brewery in Nashville until the modern-day microbrewery started in the 1980s. The brewery did close in 1954 due to national competition. At that time, the grandson of William Gerst, William J. Gerst, opened the Gerst House restaurant in 1955.
As you can tell, Scott is quite an authority on all things Gerst. He learned so much about the brewery and restaurant that he felt the need to share his discoveries with fellow beer aficionados.
I just started getting more and more knowledge about the brewery, and before I knew it, I knew more about it than it seemed like anyone else. And through encouragement of friends and folks from the Gerst House, I just decided to put all my materials together and publish a book.
That book, Nashville Brewing, contains the pictorial history of the Gerst Brewery and Restaurant. Many of the images in the book are photos of the beautiful lithographs created to promote Gerst beer. Guess what? Scott collects them too.
In my living room, I have about 8 or 9 framed lithographs that were issued in the late 1890s and early 1900s. One of my favorites is the lithograph of the actual brewery, which shows the entire brewery complex, where it took up several blocks on 6th Avenue South here in Nashville. One interesting piece I just recently acquired are these 6 trading cards, which on the front, they just look like little cartoons that you'd give out to any child. And on the back, the 6 cards get put together, and it says, "Compliments William Gerst Brewing Company, Nashville, Tennessee, manufacturers of bottled malt liquid food for family use." You don't see that advertising nowadays. Several of my favorite pieces are the World War II girls that I have. There are 2 self-framed cardboard paintings that were issued in the early 1940s during World War II, and they advertised to support their troops and buy war bonds, and of course advertise the brewery as well.
Gerst may be the focus of Scott's collection, but he also pays homage to Music City's microbreweries.
I do have a few things from the modern day microbreweries just here in Nashville. I don't want to get into collecting microbreweries from all over the country just because that'd be too much. I don't have enough space.
While Scott's space may be limited, his drive and determination are not. Still true to that 6-year-old boy picking up cans, he scours the globe via his website for the Gerst brewing grail that's out there somewhere.
There are several lithographs out there that I'm still trying to obtain that I know exist, but I do not have them in my collection yet, and I'm still always looking.